That day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet. Damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to work, cause my boss is a jerk, and I'm not even that paid. I need a change in my life, cause I don't feel alive, and there's nothing that makes me happy. Hold my beer for Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet. Damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to work, cause my boss is a jerk, and I'm not even that paid. I need a change in my life, cause I don't feel alive, and there's nothing that makes me happy. Hold my beer for a minute, I'm about to quit my job, cash in for a ticket, I'm going on a trip.
Hello, guys. Thank you all for being here tonight with me. This is Pinkie the Housewife, and I do go by Pinkie on all three of my channels. Thank you all for being here. I just have some updating I want to give to you all, some new information on the David the singer, David and Celeste case, the unaliving of Celeste, should I say. Okay. But before we get started, let me go ahead and get the house rules out of the way for me. Can you all go ahead? Let me just say, welcome to the Pink House. And if you can't, go ahead and hit that like button. Hitting that like button helps you too to keep me in the algorithm and send my videos out to more people that may like my content. And subscribe to the channel. Subscribing to the channel helps makes you know when I'm dropping a new video or going live. You would get that notification. And let me just say thank you guys for doing that. And let's go ahead and let me just put up a trigger warning because some of this stuff still kind of triggering for some people. All right. We're going to be talking about the updated news on David's case. Okay. The unaliving of his girlfriend, his young girlfriend, teenage girlfriend. She was unalived at age 14 and had a birthday right after she was found. All right. So here we go, guys. David named as a suspect in the death of Celeste. New details surrounding. Yes, they got a lot of new details that's surrounding. A lot of stuff is popping up and popping out. All right. And I know it's been a while since I talked about Celeste, her unaliving. But if you haven't seen, this is the young lady we're going to be talking about, Celeste. And this is the grown man that was entertaining her, should I say. But anyway, let's go ahead and get on with the matter at hand. Oh, my Lord. Uh, Let me just say tonight we're going to be diving into one of the most shocking stories to hit the music world in years. Uh, he's a rising star, David, or he go by the name D4VD. He once celebrated his breakout hits like Romantic Homicide, Here With Me, Sleep Well. Isn't that one called Sleep Well? That's chilling to the bone. But now he's now at the center of a chilling, unaliving investigation. Okay. His alleged underage girlfriend, well, let me just say his alleged underage girlfriend, Celeste, vanished in 2024. And by September 2025, you all know what happened. Her body was discovered in a Tesla that was registered to David himself. What followed was a storm of rumors, misinformation, and police we thought wasn't doing their job. But police have classification now that painted a far darker picture than anyone expected. When I say it's dark, it's dark. Just going to make the hairs on your arm stand. Okay. But before we get started, Let me just say this. Question and answering. Okay, we're going to do a Q&A segment first. Was Celeste, let me just put it out there. Was Celeste's body frozen or decapitated? That's one question. Now, the police confirm that's misinformation, but the police haven't confirmed much of anything. Remember all these months? Number two, is David charged? Did he get charged? Well, David went around months, free as a bird, free as a bird. But now he has been named as a suspect. I'm blinking my eyes. Y'all better say something about that. Okay, number three. Why are records sealed? Why are they sealing the records? Well, the judge placed a security hold on those records. I have never heard that before on something like this. A lot of people got questions about that, and I'm not the only one. Big people got questions about that. Number four, was anyone else involved? Okay. We always thought, everybody on social media have always thought it was somebody else involved with this. Okay. I think, in my opinion, the police think it is somebody else was involved with this. Just my opinion, because they don't say much, but I think they do. Okay. Last one, number five. How has this affected his career? Well, how do you think it's affected his career? It just overshadowed everything. How do you think? Okay. Okay. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and get on with TMZ Live. You know, TMZ, they're going to bring out everything. TMZ going to bring out the skeletons, everything. Skeletons, the frogs, they got everything for you. And I'm going to just let TMZ have it. Okay. Is David K's shocker. Grand jury makes its call. Now, this happened 13 hours ago. This is from 13 hours ago. So it haven't been that long. All right. So here we go.
Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. The Celeste Rivas homicide investigation has taken a big turn. There is now a grand jury that has convened to try and dig up information that could lead to an arrest.
Yeah, the LA County District Attorney's Office presenting evidence to this grand jury, presenting the evidence they have at this point. And the grand jury, what we've heard is that the grand jury has been convened for several days in mid-November. What we don't know, because grand juries are all done with good reason in secrecy, so we don't know if they are done at this point.
They may still, my guess is they're still going.
I'm guessing they're still
let me kind of explain the way this works. This is an investigative grand jury. And the reason that they convene these is because the police can call somebody that they want to interview, and a lot of people clam up. They say, I'm not going to talk to you. They're afraid of incriminating themselves or other people. And it's very difficult sometimes for police to talk to people who are involved to get information. So the reason for a grand jury is that they can subpoena people and require them to testify. The only way somebody cannot testify is to use their Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination. But if there's no Fifth Amendment, they have to testify. So the police use the grand jury as an investigative tool to get things that they could not easily get.
They could also use this to get videos or other documents that, like you said, if someone is being a little difficult, they don't want to turn it over.
Right.
It gives them subpoena power. You can issue, obviously, subpoena through the grand jury. I think the other big thing here is there's been so much that we have not been able to figure out about this investigation, right? I know you've had some great sources, but at the same time, there's so much mystery, it seems, behind this investigation, more so than most others that we deal with, because we know that this body was found in the trunk months ago now. We were always wondering why there was no tox report. We've now learned that because the body was potentially frozen and put on ice. This is a huge step. The fact that a grand jury has been convened means the cops are really, prosecutors are a long way down the road.
Or they're not.
Or they don't have enough.
Or they don't have
I
enough.
don't have enough.
They need the grand jury to
But I think it does point to that they think they know where they can get the
That's right.
information.
That's exactly
And
right.
they're hoping by convening this grand jury, they're going to be able to get to it.
What we have been reporting and know is that although the medical examiner has not determined a cause or manner of death, the LAPD Robbery Homicide Division, they are viewing this as a homicide. And they are also viewing the singer David, who had some sort of relationship with this young girl,
Celeste, who was 14.
that they are viewing him as a suspect. We're also told there is a second suspect that they're looking at who has some connection to the dismemberment of Celeste's body. As you know, that Celeste's body was found in David's Tesla near his rental house in early September, and it had been there for weeks. And we told you that LAPD knows this, that they believe that they have hard evidence. David took a mysterious trip to Santa Barbara in the spring of this year, spent in a very remote area and spent several hours there in the middle of the night. And they believe there may have been dismemberment there, but they think that is going to be a key part of this investigation.
So the grand jury, if they're now having subpoena power of the grand jury, could help them connect whatever dots they don't have connected yet. Like you said, we know that they know about this trip to Santa Barbara. They know the body was found in the car. And maybe they already know this and we just don't know it. What happened between the spring of this year, when this trip to Santa Barbara happened, and then September, and where was her body if she was actually dismembered back in the spring?
From talking to our sources, and they're at various parts of this investigation, I think they know a lot about this, and it is puzzling. Where was this body? We did a story last weekend that we are told the body was partially frozen when found, which is remarkable since it was in a hot car for so many days. The LAPD captain connected to this case disputed that and said the body was not frozen. We went back to our sources, in particular, a source connected to the medical examiner, who quadrupled down on this and said, no, the body was partially frozen. And as we reported, her fingers were so waterlogged, they couldn't take fingerprints.
So the one of the things would be, where was that body? Where was it frozen, right? Where was it?
Where was it, period?
Where was it kept for all of this time?
And when did she die? And when did she die?
And then how does it end up dismembered in the front trunk,
car.
the trunk of his car? It's such a bizarre eventuality for this body, given what the police are saying it possibly happened in the spring in Santa Barbara, then frozen, then in the trunk of the suspect's car, or a suspect's
Everyone has been wondering why there isn't an arrest yet. And I think the fact that this grand jury has been convened tells you that they don't have enough yet for an arrest, but they are getting very, very close.
I don't even know very, very close. I was told don't expect an arrest immediately, although that obviously could change depending on what the grand jury got and what other information they're getting.
Told you that was going to be disturbing. Her fingers was frozen. Her fingers was frozen. Let me just bring something up for you all so you can see. Now, this is a timeline of the event. Okay? And we're going to go over this timeline right quick, because this timeline tells everything. So, in April, okay, we're going to start in April. April 2024, Celeste disappeared from Lake Elsinore, California. Okay, and she was like 13 years old, running away with a grown man. Okay, 2025, September the 2nd, Celeste turns 15. Well, she turns 15 while she was unalive, should I say. And September the 8th, her body is found in a Tesla registered to David himself. So that's where she turned 15, because she was unalive at 14. September the 9th through the 15th, rumors spread that her body was frozen and decapitated. Now the LAPD is saying partially dismembered, not frozen, not decapitated. Now, at the very beginning, We have heard she was decapitated. Okay. October. LAPD confirms homicide investigation. Now, that's when in October they named David as a suspect. And they said he was cooperating in the very beginning. Yes, they did. I remember because I reported on that. Now they're saying he was not cooperative. He haven't been cooperating. That's why they did a subpoena. Subpoena. Okay. Now, November the 21st, court seals the autopsy report. Cause of death withheld. I have never heard them doing that. Oh, I can see for a very, very famous person. This child wasn't famous, but she's famous now because rumors are going around. She was frozen, body decapitated, Fountain Davis Tesler, body unrecognizable. David was cooperating in the very beginning. That's what LAPD said. And they said the cause of death, they didn't know. Now the police facts are saying her body was not frozen. But like, we just heard it from Harvey himself. And now the police said partially dismembered. Now, just it. But they did say, we can all agree, that Tesla was registered to David. Now, at the time, the police said he was cooperating, David. Now they said he was not cooperating. That's why they subpoenaed him. That's why they got all this subpoena stuff going on. Now they saying rumors was cause of death unknown. Now they said sealed by court. Why would they seal it by court? What is the reason for that? The LAPD has sealed the autopsy report, but the case remained active, and David is still named the suspect as of October. The question now isn't just about his music career, but whether the truth behind Celeste's death would ever fully come to light. Stay tuned because this story is far from being over. Thank you guys. You all have a wonderful night.
That day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet. Damn, ain't